You know what I was actually just thinking about?
Nope.
I actually played all of my guitars this week.
Really?
All of them.
How many is
I don't know. I don't know. And I got a new one today. But I did. I actually played all of them this week. And it's only Thursday. Really weird.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? This is Dylan. And this is Leslie. And this is our live Q&A. I forgot how to do it. It's been a couple weeks.
You were here last week.
I know, but you
I
weren't.
wasn't.
And it was weird. And I missed a lot of people's questions and etc. So here's how this works. We're going to do a Q&A. We've got some questions that have come in from...
We already have a super chat. I'm going to interrupt you.
Nice.
Super chat from Gremlin Fred 3.
Thank you. No question, though.
And that's it.
So if you have a question, get it in there so we can attach it to the super chat. I mean, I know you put a super chat in there. You probably meant to ask a question, I'm guessing. Anyway...
Or not. Thanks anyway.
Or if you were just being nice, we appreciate that as well. But I want to make sure that you are properly acknowledged if you did have a question. So we've got some questions that came in from Patreon and from YouTube members. I put a post up every Thursday morning. I'm actually getting better about doing that early in the morning so people can ask. And more people are asking on that thing. You can also use a super chat. We'll drop what we're doing and ask a question that way. Or you can just take a chance and put a bunch of question marks in front of something, but make sure you do that so we don't skip over you. If you ask an off-topic question, we're going to save that for after 9 o'clock, where we just kind of go off the rails and talk about whatever we want to talk about. So, a couple of housekeeping things. We are building a lot of pickups, and I had a very weird thing happen with a roll of wire. And I wanted to mention it because there's a couple of customers that are affected by this. My 43 gauge wire spool, my last one, you know, I don't even think about it. I just go over, like, used up some 43. Oh, I need to grab another 5-pound spool. Go over there, grab the 5-pound spool. It's my last one, so when I start that one, I order another one, and then it hits here in time, and everything is cool. But the 43 gauge 5-pound spool that I opened up was all jammed up. It was wound wrong. So I can't make Telecaster neck pickups until Saturday. So, or center punches, or 8-balls, or quattros. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff we can't make because we don't have that wire. And the replacement wire, I worked it out with the company and everything's fine. It's coming and it'll be here Saturday. But it just, for those of you that are waiting on Telecaster neck pickups of any kind, 8-balls, center punches, for example, that's why we're running a little long on that stuff. Because I'm about 7 production days, which is like a week and a half behind on all that stuff because of that crazy thing. So, just so you know, that's where we're at with that stuff. The other thing is, look in the description below for any links from Sweetwater, from StewMac, from Runway Audio. Oh, which reminds me, we have mail to open. I haven't even seen this yet. I got some stuff from Runway Audio today. I bought this stuff. I didn't get it for free. But what this is...
Sounds like
a bunch of patch cables.
I like the satin.
Yeah. Satin 90-degree pancake ends. There's a description. There's a link in the description to this stuff where you can get it, and you get 10% off if you use that link. I just used my own link and got 10% off, and just bought it.
So you're getting 10% off it.
Well, you know, so that's how that works.
That's
and
funny.
so yeah, I'm putting together a pedal board because that's part of our questions tonight. So without further ado, or whatever you say, let's go ahead and get into our Patreon questions. And I'm going to take a sip.
What are you drinking before everybody asks?
I am drinking this Mortlach Single Malt 12. I have this much left. It's been kind of the go-to lately. I haven't actually had anything since my sister was here. So
Really?
I don't think so.
I don't think I can say the same. You ready?
Yeah.
Patrick, on this 2021 Squire Affinity Stratocaster HSS made in Indonesia, I don't know which tuners or locking tuners to go with or replace. Can you help me? The ones that are on it now have 2 small pegs on the back sides and 2 holes in the wood back sides. Thank you, and take care for now.
That.
Not later.
But not
just,
later.
Just for now.
Just take care for now.
Yes.
Go crazy later. I can't remember which ones to use. Those are tough. Those are the hardest ones because they've got the 2 little location pins. If anybody else has used those, it's been a long time since I built one of those and I had that, and I can't remember off the top of my head which ones have that. If anybody's used one recently, get in the comments and help him out with that because I don't know. I actually didn't read that question ahead of time, so.
Slacker. Would you have ignored it?
No. Oh, also, we're going to talk about the thumbnail. I want to know from you what you think about Gibson and Fender now having factory stores, albeit on opposite sides of the world.
Where's Fender's?
Tokyo.
Oh, not going.
But, well, not Tokyo. It's in Japan. I think it might be in Tokyo, actually. Anyway, and it's in a really fancy neighborhood, super high-end stuff. And, of course, Gibson has the Gibson Garage. I just bought a guitar from there. How is that going to affect things, and what do you think about that? I have some thoughts on it. We'll get to that after these questions.
Sorry. Thank you for the super chat, Slacker Deluxe. He says, just because Thursday ends with a Y.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. Did you see the...
Uh-huh.
Okay. We saw that, Doug.
We saw that, Doug.
Let us know. You know how to reach us otherwise.
You'll be in town. We got it. Let's keep going because there's a bunch of these.
I'm working on it.
Oh.
Working on it. Mark, Tonex or Princeton Tone Master?
Ooh.
I'm about to sell an Epi and I'm leaning towards a Tonex. I already have 2 other tube amps.
So, do you want lots of amps or do you want 1 amp? That's the question. And do you want it portable or more like a regular conventional amp? I have the Tone Master and a Tonex, and I will tell you, I have not touched anything else since I got my Tonex. It is so fun. It is so fun. And I haven't even done the video yet. We're still working through some of the pre-videos. We've got some stuff coming out, I think, on Monday. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I've got a bunch of videos ready, so I don't know. There's going to be a video tomorrow, by the way. But yeah, I think that's it. Portability on a pedal board out to gig, Tonex. Multiple amps, Tonex. If you want 1 good Fender sounding amp, Tone Master. But it sounds like you already have that covered.
Let us know what you decide, Mark.
Yeah, for sure. My thing is ease of recording. Both of them are great.
Tim, would you speak a little about wiring a single hum with 1 volume and 1 push-pull tone? Thanks.
Yeah, that's super easy. Basically what I would do is just look up the wiring for a Telecaster. Because you would use... Oh, wait, single hum. Mm-hmm. Basically what you would do is you would just wire the switch normally like a Strat, but instead of... You would just take the output of the switch on the end that goes to the volume pot and then wire from the volume pot to the tone pot like a Telecaster and then put a push-pull on the tone pot. That's what I would do. So the Strat switch is still like a Strat switch, but from the output, volume pot to tone pot, do it like a Tele, and then the push-pull is on the tone. That's what I would do. Easy way to think of it.
Mark said he's waiting on that video, and it sounds like he really wants a Tonex, but there's a lot of negative sounding videos on YouTube, so he wasn't sure. Because yours is Monday, right?
No, I mean, I'm still working on it.
It's not out yet.
There's a lot to it. What? Why are people negative about it? It sounds
No,
unbelievable.
he said negative sounding videos. So I don't know
Oh.
if that means actual sound or negative.
Oh no, it sounds great. It 100% sounds great. There are some.
Volume just start on my phone.
I don't know.
Oh, I bet
Your watch
my
did
watch
it. There are some people that think it are negative about it because it doesn't have an effects loop and then it doesn't have a stereo out, even though it does. You don't need an effects loop on this amp. People are using it wrong if they think you need an effects loop. There's some misconceptions about how. Go watch Steve Sterlacci's videos about it, because he has used it a bunch of different ways in a bunch of different formats, and I'm actually kind of cheating. I was just texting him before the live stream, like kind of cheating and asking him some stuff that I wasn't sure about. He's the man when it comes to
How
the
is it
modeler
cheating
stuff.
if you ask questions?
Well, I mean, I wasn't trying to figure it out myself and sound like a know-it-all. I'm literally trying to learn from him.
So you mean you're learning?
Yes.
That's not cheating.
Well, yeah, I know, but I feel like on YouTube, if you tell somebody you got the idea from somebody else, it's some sort of like thing. But
Everybody
I love
gets their
Steve.
information somewhere.
That's true. I love Steve, and he does a really good job. So go steal all his ideas from his videos, because he's really good at it. And mine will be coming.
Robert, I just watched the unboxing. Very cool. Thanks for sharing. I'll miss the live chat as usual for rehearsal, but I look forward to catching up tomorrow.
Thanks, man. That was when we unboxed the Epiphone Explorer.
Oh, today. That's
Yeah.
a new comment.
Yep.
Cool.
I love that guitar, too. I haven't really had any time to do anything with it, but...
Mason Gamer. Hi, Dylan and Leslie. In response to your Just Gonna Say It podcast, I have a Schecter Apocalypse Solo 2 in Dragon Burst. I don't know. Maybe
Dragon Burst, maybe?
I don't know. And I love it. Got it in a trade for my LTD EC1000 with EMG active pickups. I'm aware of the monetary value of the Schecter as it is limited for the Dragon Burst finish. However, the future value is not the reason I'm keeping it.
That's cool, man. Yeah, we talked Tuesday about people that care more about how much their guitar is worth than actually making the art with the guitar and being inspired by it, which is sort of a weird... That's what I took from that Epiphone Gibson survey. It's like there's a lot of people more concerned about how much it costs, which I thought was funny.
There are also people thanking you for introducing them to Steve Sterlacci. So maybe they've
Oh,
watched
awesome.
some of his videos
Yeah, cool.
already.
Make sure you subscribe to him. He's great. He's cool. I've known him a long time. He's a really cool dude.
Robert, thank you so much for the Jazzmaster pickups. They sound so great in my American Vintage 2JM. Much better than stock. One quick question. Do you have a pedalboard manufacturer or type recommendation? Quality is more important than cost. We don't see that very often.
I know. Literally
Good job,
working on
Robert.
that right now.
Thank you for the super chat.
I
I
will-
don't know if I said that.
I'm working on I'm working on a video right now. I'll give you two options. If you have a very simple setup and you're using like a one-spot daisy chain sort of thing, this D'Addario expand thing is cool. You unlatch it and hit you in the face when I figure it
Yeah,
out.
I was like, oh,
Yeah,
please don't.
and it expands out if you have this many pedals, and it goes a little smaller if you have this many pedals. And then it locks, and it's kind of cool. The downside is there's no room for a power supply underneath, so you have to have, like a daisy chain sort of thing, or put your power supply on top. But for just a super simple grab and go thing, this is pretty cool. I think these are right around $100. And then
And then.
this is a sneak peek on what I'm working on. This
Don't hit your glass.
is kind of my new hotness. This is the Temple Audio board. And the way these are really, really cool. The way they work is you see all these holes. And there's an adhesive pad that goes on the back of the pedal. And it's got a threaded insert in it and a thumb screw. And then you put this on here. You pick your spot wherever you want, like that. It locates it. And of course now I can't see because it's dark in here. And you use the thumb screw, do like this. and now it's solidly on there. Here's the other cool part. They have all these options where you can do like 4-cable method and hardwire it underneath the pedal board. Your power supply thing can plug in underneath here with a master switch and a plug on the side. I love this. I think it's really cool. So this is what I'm working on for my Tone X video right now.
Sneak peek.
Sneak peek. The video on this, I don't know. It's going to come out soon too because we already did a video on it. I shot it. It hasn't come out yet.
Thank you for the super chat, Gremlin Fred 3. Hi guys, just wanted to say hi. And in your opinion, is there a market for someone to build and sell only left-hand guitar? P.S. The $20 was appreciation for you being you. P.P.S. Can you get me an Epiphone Explorer retail?
So I going backwards. So left-handed things, there are people that do that. And there's, Jerry's Left-Handed Guitars in Florida that specializes only in left-handed guitars. He's a dealer. It's very cool. If you're left-handed and you need left-handed stuff, look up Jerry's Left-Handed Guitars. The dude if it's out there, he has it. It's really cool. And not just like Squires and stuff, like really nice stuff. As far as the Explorer goes, I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to keep that guitar. That guitar is going to be around for a bunch of videos. We might try some different pickups in it, do some stuff, and then that guitar is going to go away, and I am going to sell it for probably right around retail or maybe with some upgraded pickups and stuff in it. I don't know. I have to look into it. However, I think there's a line of people that want it. I know for sure because I've had one guy texting me all week. Did the guitar come in? Did the guitar come in? Did the guitar come in? Like every day. And he's called dibs on it. So unless he doesn't want it, I think it's already sold. So, but I will keep everybody.
Before we even saw
Yeah,
it.
before I even got it. So I'll keep everybody up to date on that though, if you're interested. Yeah.
And thank you for both super chats.
Yes, for sure.
Gremlin Fred. It's a great name. It's kind of creepy. I think that's a gremlin in his picture too.
Does that mean he has like an AMC Gremlin?
I don't know. So Mark Stanton said his power supply fits pretty good. Somebody else said that's a cool design for a board. D-Mac says a small power supply like an MXR DC brick will fit under.
Yes.
And then Rob F says, I like my temple board. It works great in the house with dogs and cats. Velcro is not a good thing near my floor.
That's really funny. That's true. That is true. If you use the Sweetwater link, please do that. If you use the Sweetwater link in the description below, Temple Audio actually sent me that board directly from Canada, but they are at Sweetwater, and then I bought the little slidey one off of Sweetwater. So there's links to that below.
All right. Nick, I have a magnet question. Are you listening to me or are you reading?
This. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Would you like me to exit stage right over here?
So funny. Sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
Nick, sorry he interrupted your question. Nick, I have a magnet question. What do the numbers on Alnico pickups represent? I assume the material is the same between all of them, and it's the Gauss level that differs. If that's the case, is it simply the amount of time you hold the slugs when magnetizing them that dictates the Alnico number, i.e. 5 seconds for Alnico 2, 8 seconds for Alnico 3, 10 seconds for Alnico 5, etc.? Thanks in advance.
You almost are 100% right, except for the time thing. So, it is the strength, yes. And they are made out of the same materials, yes. But they the number is representative roughly of the maximum amount of magnetic strength, magnetic pull that those magnets can have, and they vary it by the proportions of the materials in the magnets. So if it's, excuse me, was it aluminum, nickel, and cobalt? So that's what Alnico is. So you play around with those proportions to get one weaker or stronger. And it's not the time, it's just the proportion of the materials. That's a good question. I like how he asked it.
Rob F. If I have a nut that was set up or cut for larger gauge strings, 10s, do I need to replace the nut and cut it for smaller gauge strings? 8. Thank you both for all you do on behalf of the DTT community. That sounds like STD. You got DTT? Just kidding.
Yeah, you know me. Sorry. So as far as that goes, if it's not plinking around on you or doing anything weird, don't worry about it. 8 to 10 you could probably get away with.
10 to 8.
Right. So I just, again, video spoiler, because I just did that today. On my Schecter, I went from 8s to 10s, but I had to go from 10s to 8s first. And I played it with 8s on it for probably 6 months, 3, 4, 5 months maybe, and never had any plinky problems or weird nut problems with it. So I think it's probably okay. But if it gets to be a little plinky, or like when you're chording your first position chords and you can feel the string move back and forth and it'll make that little noise, then you'll have to do something about it. Probably depends on the nut material and how well it was cut in the first place, is what I would say.
And I don't know what spoiler I'm giving away because I don't understand all of this stuff. I just know that he told me he ordered and requested a bunch of nut stuff. So there's something
I
related coming.
I did.
All right. Let's see.
It's so you can measure them.
Super chat from Gremlin Fred 3. He said, yes, AMC Gremlin. I had 3.
Dang! That's
So
cool.
his name must be Fred, and he's had 3.
Mm-hmm.
Gremlin Fred 3.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
That is a very niche-y car club.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where I was at. I think I'm here. Nope.
Nope.
My bad. Jim, did you see that Fender is putting out a 3-story store in a crazy expensive sales complex in Japan? Casino already did a video on it.
This is where the subject came from. Because when I saw Casino's video yesterday, thanks, Jim, I was like, do I want to talk about this? And I watched their video, and it was so well covered that... And they have a different perspective because they're a dealer, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But I think... I did see it. I don't think it's going to affect anything. And I think it's going to be positive. I think the Gibson Garage is a very positive thing. So I think Fender is going to follow suit and do it. Maybe they'll do it in the United States too. One in Europe. I will say that Japan, the guitar market in Japan is on a whole other level. I've had some experience learning about the higher end market in Japan, and it's crazy. It's crazy. The demand there is very, very high, especially for higher end guitars. And so I think to have an outlet, like a factory outlet, makes sense.
It's not an outlet.
It's a factory store.
But an outlet is something different.
Well, that's true. I just mean it's a factory store. It's basically like the Gibson Garage, but Fender, but in Tokyo.
Okay.
I think it's awesome. And I know some people are like negative about it because they think that they're going to cut into dealer, blah, 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 blah. I've bought 2 guitars at Gibson Garage now. I just bought the Explorer there, and I bought my SG Junior at the Gibson Garage, and I loved it. the reason I bought my Gibson SG Junior is not because I felt a certain way about the place. I literally went there and I was like, this is cool. I have to get a guitar here. And I literally went back the next day and bought a guitar there. Is it hurting dealers? I don't think so. I think that it sets a standard for what dealers should do. I think it helps the brand. My expectation for a Gibson dealer is set now that I have seen the Gibson garage. And when I walk into a Gibson dealer now and the guitars are crappy and the fret ends are poking out and the quality is not good, I don't blame Gibson for that. I blame the dealer for not presenting a good product and not representing the brand properly. So I think it's good to set a standard for how you want your product sold. Mm-hmm. That happened to me. We put our pickups in a store. We had a few dealers way back when. And I remember going into one store expecting to see my pickups presented a certain way. And they were pushed to the back at the bottom. They were dusty. It was obvious that nobody had talked about them or seen them in a very long time. And at that moment, I pulled out of that dealership, or that dealer, and never sold there again because my stuff was not presented properly. And I think it's really important for these brands to set the standard somehow. And that's why I think these big factory stores are important. I mean, I don't think they're going to go full on like Apple and be like only factory stores. Like Apple stores are like all factory stores, right? So at least I think so. But like, for example, my friend is the sales manager at Audi dealership.
Super chat from Alonzo White. Thank
you,
for the
Alonzo.
super chat. I followed you live while you constructed a pedal kit. That's cool. Thanks, you ever demonstrate it? Love you guys.
No, I broke a piece and I was waiting for it to come in.
So we're waiting.
So we're waiting on that.
Thank you for the super chat.
But I got a friend that, and thanks for watching the pedal thing. That was long. That was crazy. I got a friend that managed a Audi dealership, and they had to like completely remodel their store, and had to change the name of the store. Like, it's not called Gerald Jones Audi anymore. It's called Audi of Augusta. Mm-hmm. And the reason it's called that is because Audi went through the whole brand and said, we're standardizing. All the stores are going to look the same. They're going to be called Audi of whatever town they're in. It's all going to be the same. And they didn't like it, but they had to do it because it was the standard of how they wanted to present their brand. And I hope that other dealerships are dealers of guitar stuff and all brands will take that sense of pride for the brands that they represent. Because I think that is the problem with guitar quality. I think it has less to do with the quality of the guitar coming out of the factory than it does with the quality of the store that presents the brand. Because if the store cared about how they were presenting the brand, they wouldn't accept junk. They just wouldn't do it. So
Alonzo said it was long, but I was totally into it.
Dude, I'm glad, man. That's cool. Thanks for doing that. That's really cool.
That is wild.
That was the last question from Patreon and YouTube.
Correct.
Yeah.
Are you finished talking about your big box stores? You want to hear what people are saying?
Yeah, let's see what they're saying about it.
Because some people commented very early.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck C said, I had to order my Music Man John Myung, I don't know, bass directly from Ernie Ball's website. It wasn't available at any retailers at the time. The site would usually only give 1 to 3 available at any given time. Mm-hmm. Martian Murray says, in theory, it sounds cool. I mean, you think they're cutting out the middleman so they should be able to save the customer some money, but no, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's not what it's for.
Joshua Michaels says, having Nike stores have not hurt Nike, and the Fender store is in Japan. They have brand-specific stores for everything, including Gundam models. I don't know what that is.
You must not be
Must not be what?
17.
Definitely not 17. I don't even have kids that are 17.
I'm kidding. Yeah, that's right. We don't.
Let's see. These are questions. Let me. Paul Need says, I don't like companies selling direct and making the extra profit while nailing their dealers to minimum stocking level deals. Do they still do that?
So they do, but those are not connected. A dealer in Southern California is not at all affected by the Gibson garage in Nashville. They're just not. And minimum stocking is important.
I took it away already.
Okay. So minimum stock is important because that keeps a dealer accountable to the discount that they've been given, to the profit that they have been able to build in at that price. Because if you do not do that, I've had that happen too. I've had people order a first minimum order and I didn't make them way back when. I didn't make them stock a particular amount. And basically they just bought some for their friends at a huge discount. And, so it's all about brand. It's all about how the brand is represented to the public. And minimum stocking. And if I keep my profit my prices are what they are, and we don't have dealers. It's priced so that we can have dealers, but I did the work. So Gibson should be able to do the same thing. I think everybody should. You should be able to build into your whole game distributor pricing and all that hierarchy stuff, because everything is expensive now at any business. And the people this is a huge pet peeve of mine. The people that sell pickups for $35 for a humbucker because they're working out of their basement, it does nothing but hurt the integrity of the product across the business. And people that do, I think Matt did a video last week about $500 guitars, it just hurts everything. It doesn't help anything at all, because the 99% of us who are doing it the proper way are doing it right. And so why can't they do it right too, instead of dig into that profit? But it's not solvent. It doesn't work that way. So anyway, I could go on about that for hours.
Well, I want to say thank you to LT Gray
Oh, yeah?
and Rob F., who took the time to explain what Gundam was to me instead of making a snide remark. And it is miniature anime characters and
Yes.
models. You didn't tell me that, though.
Yeah. I think it's because I didn't 100% know. I know, but I don't know if I was right, so I'll just let them explain it.
I also, now that I know, your comment was probably, I think adults own more of those than 17-year-olds.
It's probably true.
So thank y'all for explaining it to me. Let's see if anybody else had. Sebastian Ibarra says, factory stores, they look cool and reliable to me.
Yep.
Let's see if we had any.
I go to a factory store, I get excited, and then I go home and want more of their stuff. I've bought a bunch of Gibsons since I went there.
Landon Bailey says, hey there, I only recently discovered your channel. Good stuff.
He has a channel too.
Who is that?
Landon Bailey. He has a channel about guitar stuff.
Guitars, okay.
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I thought, you remember
He's pretty good too.
we had a cop that lived across the street from us?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, Is that who that is?
No.
It was not. Okay. Angel Raven 444 says, I saw the unboxing and got triggered. 10 years ago, I had a Korina Gibson reissue Flying V, and his latest video of his Explorer reminded me of it. Now I want to curl in a fetal position and cry.
Yeah, because those guitars are expensive now. They are expensive. I want a 1975 Korina Explorer, like a real one, Gibson, but they're bonkers expensive now. I remember when I could get one for like $1,500, and I bet they're probably $6-7 grand now.
Rob F says, I get the impression that the Gibson Garage is as much a tourist venue as it is a retail outlet. That would be correct.
No, that's exactly what it is for. But it's to build brand loyalty. It's like it's the same thing as going to the Harley Davidson Museum in Milwaukee. That's what it's like.
But I can't buy a Harley there. Oh, they do have a dealership there.
They have a dealership there. Yeah.
But it's not that much history in there.
I mean, they have that's true. They don't have like a museum. Well, not to the public. That part's not to the public. But I just think the entire experience is important. And all the t-shirts and hats and all the everything.
And how they decorated.
Yes.
And the stand. There's so much attention to detail in that place.
Oh, man. No joke.
It is really cool.
Yeah, no, it's done properly.
Curtis Chavez says, to be honest, I highly doubt that a Ma and Pa music store could afford to be a Gibson dealer. Sweetwater Guitar World, Zounds, is that what that's supposed to be? Or ZZ Sound something?
It's Zounds.
Zounds. And Wildwood probably account for 75 to 80% of Gibson dealers.
I don't know that it's that high, but it's high for sure.
Dave S. says, I bought my Les Paul Standard from Wildwood Guitars via online from photos. I was asked how I would like the setup and what strings I would prefer, which I was able to have gone. Wish I was able to have gone there, though.
Yeah. I would have bought my Explorer on Sweetwater because I could call my sales rep guy and be like, hey, blah, 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 do the same thing. But there was no availability. So I called my Gibson guy who sends me, pedals and stuff for reviews and whatever, and guitars and stuff for reviews. Although they've never sent me a guitar, but they sent me some pedals. And I was like, hey, can I get one of those to review? And he's like, I'm not going to be able to get you one to review. You're going to have to buy this. And I'm like, okay, well then when can I get it? And he's like, I don't know. And then it was like the next day. So it was awesome. And then it came in 2 days, and it's here. The case is dumb. It's huge.
It's bigger than the coffee table.
Yeah, it's bigger than our coffee table.
Literally.
Yeah.
That was funny. Gremlin Fred said, Levi's has a bunch of retail stores. Why not vendoring Gibson?
Yep.
All right, you ready for some questions?
Sure, let's do it.
I don't know what this means. Patrick Hardy says, I'm just going to read it. Maybe me bad lucky. Can't find aged white pearl pickguard and not this on the wires.
I don't know what that means. I do know he has a pickguard on order with us, and I could not get aged white pearl, so I got him white pearl. We had this conversation the other day. So I don't know what the rest of that means.
I don't either. Patrick, maybe you
Clarification.
Can clarify. Paul needs, I remember a Limbic used a center dummy coil decades ago to cut noise and buzz. Could a pair somehow be used in between Strat pickups in a swimming pool route, preferably hidden?
Stevie Ray Vaughan did it.
Why can't you?
Stevie Ray Vaughan just used a half of a P-bass bobbin and just stuffed it underneath there. And then it got taken out of his guitar and it got put in John Mayer's guitar. It got taken out of John Mayer's guitar. Skip a couple steps and now I have it over there in a box.
Do you?
It's right over there.
Oh my gosh. No Sean McMillan, that's a pain. I opened a spool of 35 for the welder at work yesterday, and the spool was busted.
Oh.
Fortunately, all we had to do was exchange it.
Yeah. They're exchanging it for me too, but it's a 5-day process by the time you call them and the customer service calls you back and blah, blah, blah. And then they ship me some and it's whatever. It's cool.
Alan Pettibone, I got my TTG Saturday Night Special. I love that guitar. I can't decide on my love of the pickups. Reckon I should swap them. They're good, but don't match how good the guitar is.
That I get with the Saturday Night Special because they did, I don't want to say they built it to a price, but they were building that guitar for a specific budget and purpose. Hit me up with that, and of course they have a discount code about, so I can help you out with that.
Shiznit says, did you sell your 594 already?
That went back to PRS.
Wasn't his.
Wasn't mine.
John Waller, I have a couple hot rail pickups in the middle and neck position that seem to make a cracking sound. When I use the bridge humbucker, it doesn't make the sound. Any suggestions?
Cracking sound.
It says cracking. I don't know if you meant crackling, but it says cracking.
If it says cracking or crackling, it's possible that you're getting static somewhere, which is having to do with a low humidity situation. Try rubbing some dryer sheets on your pick guard. See if it makes it go away for a while. Can be a static thing.
Cool. Sebastian Ibarra. I don't rely on overdrive pedals anymore. I rely on high output pickups. Aren't high output pickups like an overdrive pedal built in a pickup?
No. What they are is they are a thing that makes electricity. And higher output pickups make more electricity and they hit your amp harder. So it just drives your amp harder. That's why. So, so it's not an overdrive pickup, but it pushes the amp harder. Anything you can do to push the front end of the amp harder is going to give you that same sort of effect.
Robinson's Customs. Any thoughts on the Fender micro tilt adjustment thingy on the back of the neck? Seems like a good idea, but combined with the angled neck pocket, it seems useless.
So I have one of those on an old Strat, and I don't use it because I set my Strats up flat. But if you put 2 degrees, which is about the size of a couple business cards stacked up, you can make a Fender play really, really nice. The trick with the micro tilt is it's in the middle, so you have to use the mic. Yeah, it's there's 4 bolts, and then the micro tilt's in the middle, and then when you tighten up that micro tilt thing, what they're talking about, for people that don't know, is there's a screw that goes in the middle of a Fender bass plate on certain models of guitars. This is in the 70s mostly, but mine's in the early 80s. But you tighten it, and it pushes up on the heel of the neck, and so it can give you a neck angle. But you have to loosen the screws that bolt the neck on the appropriate, so that you don't have like a twisty thing going on. So it's a little finicky to play with, but it does work well. Yeah.
Ira Tiger Bomb. Does Alnico Cobalt come from the Congo?
Probably.
Sean McMillan. Does the defective spool affect the Thruxton humbuckers?
No. No. We are making those tomorrow.
Cool.
Yep, those are, I think I have 2 sets to make of those tomorrow.
Are one of them Sean's, or he needs to
One of
squeeze
them,
the order
one
in?
of them are
Okay.
Sean's, yeah.
Okay.
That's why he's asking.
Like, you better squeeze it in before tomorrow.
No. There's a whole nother reason for that. But yes, that stuff should ship early next week. Your stuff should ship early next week.
Curtis Chavez, how much of a difference would it make to have a single bridge PAF humbucker versus a single bridge P90?
Well, a PAF humbucker is not as hot as a P90. P90s are gnarlier pickups. They're gonna stronger mid range. They're gonna hit the amp harder, like we were just talking about. They're higher output than a PAF. But they just sound a little different, you know. So, and they don't fit in the same hole. So you kind of have to make that decision when you're choosing to design the guitar.
Weave It Up says, I live right near the Gibson garage, and it's fun as hell to visit, but when I see the guitar I want, I realize I can find one for sale in Nashville for 70% of the cost. That is perfect.
Yeah, I mean, you live in a good spot where there's really good used market there, so that's pretty cool.
Machu says, Wildwood is 40 minutes from my house, and they still have their showroom closed.
Yeah, that's the downside to that. I've heard that.
The Humble Hillbilly wants to know, have you ever jammed on a Lucky Dog guitar? Any thoughts on them?
I have played many Lucky Dog guitars because Anthony Sims is one of my best friends in guitar land ever. I love that guy. So I've gotten to go to his shop and sit and play all of them. And he actually has put my stuff in a couple of his guitars. And I've spent a lot of time. He is a great guy. And I will tell you, here's a thing that happens. There's been many people who have brought me their custom guitar over the years. And my two favorites of all time, especially when it comes to necks, because sometimes necks can feel a little homemade. Lucky Dog, Texas Toast. Best small builder necks in the business, in my opinion. I mean small. I don't mean like Tom Anderson, stuff like that. I mean small. Lucky Dog and Texas Toast. They have great necks. Great necks.
Robinson's Customs. Did you or will you ever do an S1 switch wiring options webcast? Could be fun. Might be easy to get into the weeds, however.
I did one. We did a full drawing. I think that was even a whiteboard thing. And a blow-up version of it, a picture. We were in the big motorhome when I did that. And it was, I suppose I could do it again, though. I'll just have to buy one so you can see what it does. Oh, I might have a Telecaster right now with an S1 switch in it. Maybe we will do that. Okay. Yeah, because I think that Tele over there has one. Cool.
I don't know who this is.
Good idea.
You know, I suck with names. Somebody, BC Rich 581 just informed us that the actor Robert Blake passed away earlier tonight. It just popped up on my email news feed.
Robert Blake.
And then people are like, R.I.P. Beretta. So I don't know if that's somebody he played, nickname. I don't understand because I'm not good with names.
Robert Blake. I want to see who it is.
Okay.
Keep going.
You're going to interrupt me, so you might as well finish.
In Cold Blood and the TV series Beretta. Yeah.
That must be why they said that then.
Yep.
Cool. Rusty Fenders, do you plan on reviewing basses? That would be cool.
I don't really play them. So, actually, the guy from Gibson actually asked me that yesterday. He's like, do you play bass? Because I have some bass stuff. I should just tell him yes.
I mean, can't you just play bass? Like, is it hard?
Yeah. I should just tell him, yeah, I'll do it. And get some
I mean, you
bass
make bass
content.
pickups.
We
Why
do.
not?
We do. Yep.
Why not?
Why not? I do like playing bass. I just don't think about it that much.
I mean, if you listen to your audience, you don't know how to play anyway, so why does it matter?
Well, that's true. Apparently, according to my audience, I play acoustic good, but I suck at playing electric guitar.
I don't know about suck, but I definitely like the acoustic better, personally.
I do too.
I think it's because that's what you used to gravitate to.
Still, that's all
true.
that's in the
That's
living room
true.
right now. And so when we're sitting there and watching Netflix or whatever,
Maybe it's because that's what I hear the most.
and I do. That's
And when
what
you
I-
play electric, it's usually with other people.
Oh, that's
So
true
it's
too.
not like
Yeah.
enjoyable. Does that make sense?
Not in the same way. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Gremlin Fred 3 says, how much is the Explorer?
I think they're $12.99.
D Mac. I'm looking at new pickups for an Epi.335. Was thinking P90 humbuckers or another humbuckers flavor. Any recommendations?
I was just answering an email about this today. I think he was talking about a Sheridan, which, 6 one half dozen the other. We'll call it the same-ish guitar. I would go with our DAF. It is our vintage PAF clone that is really good. And in those Sheridans, 335s, 345s, that kind of stuff, it works really, really well. They sound great. I would get the modern ones, not the vintage style ones, because we wax pot the modern ones, and in a Sheridan or a 335, it works out better.
Sounds like you can pair up with Ivan on the bass stuff. He said, I'll take the bass, LOL.
I know, yeah.
Apparently, Robert Blake was also a child actor in Our Gang, Little Rascals.
Oh, really?
That's what they're saying.
I'm
And
gonna-
he was also a friend of Norman from Norm's Rare Guitars.
Oh. Interesting.
Paul Need says, I can't do the dummy coil thing as I don't know how to wire it.
Basically, you would just wire it reverse wound from whatever. I'm going to get back to you. I want to make sure that I have it right before I tell you, because I can't remember.
Yeah, well, Paul's pretty regular here, so I'm sure we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
get something.
I will do a dummy coil video.
Do you have to say it like that?
People have been asking.
Dummy coil.
People have been asking for a long time, and I feel bad that I haven't done it. We could just use Stevie Ray's dummy coil, because it's right over there.
Rusty Fender says, I just started playing bass a few months ago, and I should have started a long time ago. It's so cool because you play guitar and know all the chords.
Right.
That's so funny. All right, so you need to do a video.
Yep.
Okay, so Patrick Hardy came back.
Uh-huh.
He's the one that we couldn't
I
understand his
understand the question.
And I don't know if I understand it still. He says, my English is very bad when I don't sleep. I start speaking and thinking old Louisiana, old French. I was talking about his copper wires.
Oh, I still don't know.
So he asked about whatever pickguard he couldn't get in his copper wires.
Oh, maybe he thinks it affects that. No, it doesn't.
Okay.
We're actually just waiting for his pick card to get here, now that we know what color we're getting.
He wants to know if he's waiting on pickups.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
I think we got you now,
I actually
Patrick.
think his pickups are made. I'm just waiting on the... Once we made the color switch on his pick guard, then everything kind of pops together, but I still have to have it cut, so...
Curtis Chavez says Robert Blake was Mickey on The Little Rascals.
Oh. I wouldn't have made that connection because that was before my time.
Ben Allmark. Dylan, out of curiosity, did you get to keep the PRS pedals and what are your afterthoughts on them?
Technically, I got to keep one. I still have all three. I have no use for the compressor. Oh, well, let me say they're good. Personally, I have less use for the compressor because I don't play compressor that much. And if I do, it's gonna be the Keeley Compressor Plus, which I have, because Robert gave me that. And then the flanger is a less used thing for me unless I make it sound like a Leslie or a phaser. But I also have a phaser, so because I have a Maestro phaser that Gibson sent me. So I don't know. I kind of, but the IKEA meatball, the horse meat, that thing is really good, and I use it almost every day. It's really good.
Even though it needs a different name.
Even though it needs a different name. It's a dumb name. But I really, really like it. And if you are a flanger person, you have to have that thing. Because 2 LFO flangers in one box is ridiculous. It's so cool. I just don't make use of that sound. And the compressor is amazing too. I just don't make use of it.
Andy Dion said, make it sound like a Leslie? That was his question.
Yes.
Not me.
Not you.
Surely everybody there knows what a Leslie is if I know what a Leslie is.
Right.
Anyway.
Wait, if you talk and we spin you in this chair, is that...
No, it's not the same.
Okay.
Tim Ziegler says, I love the DAF's MI335. You will be happy.
Thanks, Tim.
Hawkman Hawk says, I want to try the Slant 6 for something different, maybe.
Those are cool. Those are really cool. Think single coil, very single coil sounding in a humbucker package, and they're hum canceling. They're very cool.
Ooh. I was sorry about that. Marcia Murray says, do you play nylon? Have you any interest in Tim Henson's nylon?
I would be interested in playing that guitar, yes. I don't have enough interest to buy one. I did grow up playing nylon. My dad had one, and it hung on the living room wall, and I did play that guitar a lot. And it's a whole different thing. And if I had a Tim Henson nylon Ibanez, it would be in the living room and I would play it a lot. But I don't think I would go out of my way to buy one.
Does he play nylon?
Yeah.
Like all the time?
If he's playing acoustic, it's that nylon thing, yeah.
Maybe I haven't heard him play acoustic then. Who plays nylon? Like, besides, like, Jason Mraz?
Tim Henson.
I don't know that I've heard that.
Really?
Not acoustic.
You've only seen him play more
Electric.
chuggy, electric,
Yeah.
fast stuff. Yeah, I'll show you afterwards. It's really neat. And he has a really neat approach to the guitar in general, but especially to the nylon.
Marcia
stuff.
Murray says, try it. Spin her. Angel Raven 444 says, yeah, Leslie needs a spinning chair. It does spin, actually, but he's not spinning me.
No.
Just saying.
That's hilarious. I love that people picked up on that. It's funny.
Robinson's Custom says, so, since you opened it up, where are you on the Acoustasonics?
Oh, I would totally own one. 100%. That guitar, like most guitar gear that is derided on the internet, is done so by people who have never played one. Because every person that I know who has one and who uses it, especially in a live situation, absolutely loves it. People who do not own them think they're stupid. People that have tried them think they're pretty cool. And people that buy them love them. They are very cool. I would love to have the Jazzmaster one. But again, it's such a niche-y guitar that I don't want to spend the money for it. That I wouldn't get the value out of it that justifies me spending $2,000 for it. Because I would want the American one, because I would want all the features of the electronics. By the way, the American one and the Mexican one, the wood and all the architecture and everything are 100% identical. The only difference is the electronics. And I know that because my friend designed that guitar from the ground up. And it is 100% identical. The electronics are the only difference. So, and of course the country of origin. But the wood is sourced all the same place. Everything comes from the same place. It's all the same stuff.
All right. It is 9 o'clock, but Charles squeezed a question in before 9, so I told him we would take his last question before we digress after 9.
Okay.
So Charles's question is, how would a slant 6 work in the neck of a telly?
Oh, for sure. That would be super cool because it would be hum canceling. It would sound really good. That would be really fun. That'd be really fun.
I love that everybody knows. Everybody's like counting down to 9, and then they're like, it's 9.
It's 9.
I don't know what.
I
mean, what do you
this.
want to know?
I love this. I think it's great. So here's how 9 o'clock works. See, there's 108 people on. There's still going to be 90 people on at 9:30. This is so fun. Okay, so here's what we do. At 9 o'clock, we stop talking about guitar stuff. The only way we will answer a guitar question after 9 o'clock is with a super chat. So you can still ask a guitar question after 9, but it has to be a super chat. Otherwise, we ignore it. Has there been any random off-topic questions that came in before 9?
So everybody's so excited, but they haven't given
we have
me anything.
nothing to talk about.
I mean, we probably have stuff to talk about.
Oh, I'm sure.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, everybody asked me all week how you were feeling. Like in every live stream.
There was a lot of it today.
Yeah, in every live stream I did for the last week, it was
Yeah.
like, is Leslie okay? Is she feeling better?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. I was never really sick. If my body says it's tired, I will sleep.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah. We have had...
February was horrible.
February was a really crazy month, and then my sister came to visit for like 5 days, and I haven't not seen her in a while, and so we went pretty hard. And so we have had reasons for random shutdowns, right? Like you would get to a certain point over the last month or so, because we've just had crazy things going on, and it would just be like, okay, no more people, no more. I'm literally going to stare at a YouTube video or a Netflix documentary, and if I fall asleep, or a NASCAR race, that's what I do. I usually like start the NASCAR race, make it like 35 laps in, sleep from lap 35 to lap 85, and then watch 85 to the end. You know, like just shutting down, like not thinking. And Leslie and I were talking about, that's why I did that podcast about changing up what we're doing on the YouTube channel and stuff, because for the first time in 10 years of doing this, was really feeling some burnout. So it's been nice to take a couple times off, and you took a week off, I took a week off.
Yep.
We
and
both
then I practiced some going to bed early.
didn't work.
It's been fun.
Oh yeah, you did practice some going to bed early. Yeah, so
Nailed it.
It's been good. It's been good. And I feel like our little change up around here has really helped. So we were talking about that this morning. I feel a lot better about the content we're making, even if nobody watches it. I'm just having fun making it. So
All right.
it's kind of cool.
Randy Crook says, when are you going to make the journey to Austin, Texas?
That is on the list.
It's a great question.
I was actually thinking about that this morning. That was Las Vegas. They're releasing another round of tickets for Formula One in Las Vegas in November. But I haven't seen the ones for Austin. So I would like to go to Formula One in Austin. We have a really busy year this year, so I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
And some of the stuff we had planned is kind of up in the air now. We have some other stuff that's filling it in. I got to go to Colorado in like 2 weeks.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to go to Austin. That is one.
It's top of my list,
We've
really.
been to San Antonio. We've been to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Not ever been to Austin.
No, and I'd like to go there, but I'd like to see Formula One cars when I do.
That makes sense. Charles says he just enjoys listening and hanging out with you guys. Thanks, Charles. Sean McCartney, have you two been to any good shows lately?
No. I played with my sister a couple weeks ago. That was cool.
Yeah.
I neglected to get the video from my brother-in-law.
Ask him for it.
I should get it from him.
I mean, maybe he has to go somewhere to get it to you, though. I don't know what their internet
Their internet is like, yeah.
Maybe there's internet on top of the mountain. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, so we haven't done any music.
We've literally been buckled down working so hard. That's what I'm saying.
I'm making him go to a ballet at the end of the month.
That I'm excited about, actually.
Are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
The last time I was at a ballet, it was like on Broadway, so yeah.
Well, this is local. So
I know, I don't care.
I
don't care.
Broadway expectations.
I will try any live anything, because I just think it's worth doing. Even if I don't like the music or I don't like the whatever, I'm open to try it. Doesn't matter.
Timothy Potter. Oh, wait. I skipped one. Hawkman Hawk says, any survival or camping knife you would recommend?
Survival or camping knife?
Surviving camping?
Off the top of my head, the very first thing I think of is an SE6.
What is that? Who makes it?
SE.
Oh.
It's the ones, we saw them at SKSW. They're like remember the ones like lime green and it had like a stacked G10 and lime green and black handle
that you wanted to buy, and then
I wanted to buy it.
Talked yourself out of it.
I talked myself out of it because there was other knives that I wanted instead.
Yeah. I do.
Yeah,
remember.
SE like an SE6 is probably that comes top of mind right away.
Timothy Potter says, will your Audi pin you in the seat if you peg the accelerator?
What do you think?
It has launch mode. Yes.
It's not slow.
Charles Wallace says, enter the Goodyear Formula One contest. I'll send you the details on how soon.
Oh, that's cool.
Alrighty. Gremlin Fred 3 wants to know tonight's drinks. Well, yours is gone.
Mine's gone. Yeah, it was a Scotch, 12-year Scotch from Scotland. Mortlach is what it's called.
Apparently,
I don't even remember where I got it. I don't remember where I got that.
Here, I think.
Is it? Did I get it here? I must have got it.
So now he's drinking fancy sparkling water.
Just sparkling water.
And that's all I'm drinking. It's a tall, skinny can, but it's just water.
Yep.
Cactus rose flavored water.
We like the bubbly water.
Some of us more than others.
Yeah, I drink a lot of it.
What? Jim Woodard says, you going to see Cocaine Bear? Heard it's really funny. I don't even know what that is.
You don't?
Oh, gosh.
It's like the hottest movie right now.
No.
About a bear. Some cocaine. It's a true story. Some cocaine fell out of the back of a plane. Mm-hmm. A bear in the woods found it and went nuts.
No way.
And died. Finally died. I think it's a comedy that's like way blown out of proportion and stupid and hilarious. Which is probably a movie me and you aren't really that interested in, to tell you the truth. But knowing what we are normally into. But I believe...
That's a movie I would watch at home with you, because that means you're going to be dying laughing and I'm going to think it's ridiculous.
Probably. I believe in real life, the cocaine bear was found with like 25 pounds of cocaine in his stomach, but only had absorbed a very small amount.
But what was wrong with the bear to make it eat something unnatural?
I don't know.
That?
I don't know.
Something had to be wrong. Animals don't.
And the cocaine was because when it gets wet, it solidifies.
Oh.
That's really why it died, is because it solidified and allegedly
Stuck.
somebody told me one time that cocaine, when it gets wet, it gets hard. And so, yeah, it's stuck up his insides, basically. And so the amount that it actually... I watched a whole thing on the science of actually what happened to it. It didn't really... Because it actually doesn't take that much cocaine to kill you. Like, it's not... You can OD pretty easy. Heart attack-wise.
Angel Raven 444 says, have you and Leslie ever done psychedelics?
No.
Nope. Not me. Chuck C says you need a vacation once in a while. Gremlin Fred 3 says everyone deserves a little time away. Timothy Potter says Austin is a huge music city also.
That's what I keep hearing.
Avenger says Austin is too dangerous with defund and woke.
Oh.
Marcia Murray says Austin is fine.
I'm sure it's fine.
Alan Pettibone says I feel like I get depressed as shit every February. I cannot wait for daytime highs over 25. I
Yeah.
do feel like it is a time of year. Granted, we don't have cold like that, but too many dreary days in a row is tough. Like
It is.
and then the time is about to change, and that's going to mess me up all over again.
Time's going to change this weekend.
Correct.
Yep.
And that's gonna mess me up all
tough.
over again.
That'll be tough in the mornings for a while.
Yeah.
Yep. And business is a little weird in January. January is always really slow for us. February is always really slow for us. That typically happens because of just, I don't know, right after Christmas or whatever. So I feel like in the next month or so, we're going to really start to get clicking again. And it's going to feel good. Yep.
Gremlin Fred 3 says, so, what a race. Go effing Fernando Alonso.
Dude.
Thoughts on the race? I'm a big F1 fan.
Man, okay, so of course I'm Red Bull all the way, but I'm very excited about this season because there's so many things to watch. Red Bull is my team, always has been, but there are so many things to watch, and Fernando Alonso is one of them. That Aston Martin car is going to be up there, which is going to be cool. Really surprised if Ferrari didn't do better. And
It's another race weekend, right?
we have this weekend off.
Another one? It was off last weekend, right?
Uh-uh.
Is this still the same week?
Yes. That's funny.
Sucks.
That's so funny.
So it doesn't skip 2 weekends. It's literally
It's every other weekend except for when
So you just had it this
when it's
weekend?
not. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think the next weekend's the 12th or 13th or something.
That is this weekend.
Oh, is it? Hang on. Let me just check my schedule. But no, I'm really excited about Formula One this year because I think it's gonna like flesh out and there's gonna be more of an order, but I think there's gonna be some surprises in there, which I'm really excited
All right,
about.
you're gonna talk less, then we'll have to go through
Go.
questions more. Jason Albert said he would love to see an opera.
Yes.
That is not on my list. You say that all the time.
I want to.
I don't know that it's on my list, but if he wants to go, I'll go. Give him to Ahoy there,
17th
Dylan.
to the 19th.
Have you seen F1 in person before?
No, I really want to.
Hi, Leslie. Hi, give him to. Timothy Potter says, we went to the Ballet Giselle years ago. It was breathtaking. Charles Wallace said, I would love to go see A Christmas Carol live, maybe this year. Sean McCartney says, Audi makes such awesome cars.
Yes, they do.
Hmm.
This is I don't remember how many I've had now. 3 or 4.
Sean McCartney says, talking about the movie, sounds like Sharknado. Marcia Murray says, sounds like a Hangover sequel. As you were describing it, I was literally thinking,
That's what
like
I think
the
it is.
Hangover, and you probably haven't seen Sharknado. Even though there's like 8 of them.
Maybe I've seen one on like Saturday afternoon once or something, but
Yeah, my
I don't
kids
care
got
about
into like Sharknado, and there was another one, Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Oh yeah,
Whew,
yeah.
that was a rough little period of movies. Angel Raven 444 says, "Hey Dylan, would you and Leslie ever consider doing a traveling show selling ice cream and pickups, of course, but the highlight is knife throwing."
Oh my word.
Oh, knife throwing at Leslie, like back in the day.
Oh my God.
I feel like we've talked about the depth perception thing, and
Yeah.
I'm not letting him throw knives at me.
I don't know if I'd be good at it or not.
I'm good at knife throwing. Once, the one
Oh,
time I
you did it
it
once. That's
axe
right.
throwing and knife throwing. And archery.
So
But I also had somebody like coaching me.
when we, no lie, when we get a place to do it, I want to have a setup for all of those above in the backyard.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. But he always wanted to get us set up when we were in the big motorhome. And I was like, I don't feel like our neighbors would think that's cool if we're like throwing knives outside of their window.
Outside of, in
So
an
that would be
RV
weird.
park.
Yeah.
No, but I wouldn't do that. And probably a horseshoe pit too.
LT Grace, in response, I think, to our psychedelic question, it says not that they can remember.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I think discovering parts of the brain you don't know about is very interesting.
For sure.
I'm very intrigued by the idea of that. Still in learning phase.
All right. Isaac Peterson. I am curious about Dylan's hat because I don't believe anybody out there is broken. You hear me out there, you are not broken. Yes.
Tell them the story.
That is true, Isaac. So, this specifically, he picked up this hat at a coffee shop in Savannah. So, Biddy and Buse, right? Biddy and Buse. So, this is an organization, coffee shop that, I don't know where they started. They have like 7 locations. Somebody in here has probably heard of them. But they only hire disabled people. So, we went there on purpose because I already knew about this. Because if you also don't know, my primary job is in like an accessibility realm. And on top of that, I run an employee resource group called Disability Alliance. Well, at the end of the year, we bought swag for members, and this is some swag that I bought them. So he got this Not Broken hat. Somehow I didn't see that. Not Broken hat for him, but what I purchased for folks in the group, I have a shirt and a mug, and it says Radically Inclusive. So just to support the organization, I don't know that I ever thought about actually going to the coffee shop, but we were in Savannah, literally right around the corner. I was like, we have to go. We didn't even need coffee, but we got coffee. Really, really, I have pictures. I haven't done anything with them. I should post them. Really cool place. I like how it was organized. Like, obviously, they have to make some accommodations for various things. One thing that I thought was really neat is they have a card system. So instead of like learning how to spell somebody's name or understand somebody's name, you get like a card. So ours was like, I don't know, the Queen of Hearts or something. And then they match them up with your receipt.
Yeah, so you, instead of like at Starbucks where you'd be like, hey, order for Dylan, the person who was calling out the orders, of course she's disabled, and she is just like Jack of Diamonds or Queen of Hearts or whatever, and you came up with your card, you showed it to her, and if you didn't have the matching card, she wasn't going to give you a drink because she didn't want to give you the wrong drink. It was really neat. It was just a really neat system.
It was well done, very organized.
Really cool.
Very clean. What I found fascinating, though, because as you're waiting, right, for your stuff, it just looks like a coffee shop.
Yeah.
There's nothing that says what it is. So if you don't know, you don't know. And watching people come in and, like, noticing that realization, I think, was really neat.
Yeah, it was a neat place. And I have... this is especially interesting when you have a disability that is not visible to a lot of people. So... appearing to be able-bodied and not be actually is a a tough place to be, I'll tell you. And so this hat is kind of cool because it talks about that. And she really cares about this stuff because of what she does for work and because being married to a disabled person. So it's yeah, it's kind of cool.
Great question. Thank you. That was a nice little, I don't know. He said, I'm glad I brought it up. Thank you.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a neat thing.
Patrick Trites, I hate time change. I wish it would stay standard. Yes, agreed.
I'm from Arizona. I cannot even tell you how stupid time change is.
I'm not looking forward to darkness at 7:30 a.m. again. I was just starting to notice the sun coming up at 6:30 a.m.
Exactly. Yeah. I was actually having an easier time getting up. Waking up.
Okay.
Your alarm would go off. I would wake up. And then like, oh, it is light outside. And then like lay in the bed and like not get up, but still be awake.
I'm up though.
Yeah.
Angel Raven 444 suggestion: would you ever do a vid rebuilding a motocrosser like a CR500 or a YZ, etc., to supplement your channel?
I've thought a lot of times about getting into motocross, motorbike stuff again, and other things. I have thought about it. We're not in a place where we can do that because of where we live. So maybe in the future there will be other content like that. Probably not on this channel, on our others, because we have another channel too. I have a list of videos for the other channel, so I guess I need to get on them.
Get on it.
Yeah.
Jim Woodard said, I hope they do away with the time change after this one. They are supposed to. Yeah, I thought that was coming too. I just know we live on... I mean, I hope the whole country does it, don't get me wrong, but I definitely hope we live right on the border and cross state lines, 3 to 4 times a week. And I just hope those states keep the same. Yeah. Whatever is decided, I hope they match, because that would suck.
That would be a pain in the butt.
Yes.
When I lived in Arizona, the only part of Arizona that did do the time change, that went on daylight savings, was the Navajo Res, and I actually I worked on the Navajo Res, but I didn't live on the Navajo Res. Oh,
how aggravating.
And so it was super annoying.
Yeah. Alan Pettibone said, I can proudly say I've never watched Sharknado. That means you know what it is, though. I think that counts. John Waller. So it doesn't say any of the words. We have to know what he's talking about, but I'm going to say John Waller said, the dryer sheet worked. No more crackling.
Excellent. It's so funny that he stopped and went and did that.
Yes.
I love it. That's great.
That
means he stopped during the video and went and did it just to try it. It might go away, so you might have to re-up it sometimes. But if the humidity in your house starts to drop in the wintertime, your static electricity goes up too, So it might be sort of seasonal.
Robinson's Custom says, we could always, quote, discover different parts of the brain by having you go on Hot Ones, the nuclear chicken wing eating show.
You're the 5th person to bring that up this week.
Why?
In other videos that I've done on the podcast earlier. And I was like, well, I don't eat chicken. And so somebody was like, if somebody could arrange it to where you could go on there and eat vegan chicken, would you still do it? And I'm like, heck yes, I would.
Would you?
Yeah.
I would die.
I would die too. But it would still be fun. Bryson and I have talked about, our son, have talked about actually buying all the sauces and trying them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like $120, but it's a whole big thing of
We
sauces.
have to record it if we do.
Oh, I would... if somebody would fund the video, I would totally make the video. Just saying.
Anyway.
If you sent me the sauces, I would make the video. Because they're out there.
Gremlin Fred 3 says, I've been to F1 at Indianapolis and Montreal. You have to go. It's a blast. Try for the U.S. Grand Prix at COTA, Austin, Texas. I've been there. It's a really nice place to see a race.
I want to go to Vegas because they're going to do 200 miles an hour on the strip. That would be cool.
Andy Dion says, right on, great cause. My brother is disabled.
That's awesome, man. I mean, not awesome that he's disabled. I think it's awesome when people, it's just something we really care about. I think it's cool.
Angel Raven 444 says, I used to follow F1, but since Schumacher left, I lost interest. Oops, I dated myself again.
I mean, I was watching it when he was there too, so. No, his son.
Martian Murray says, do y'all have a lot of clocks to change, or y'all just like me and wait 6 months? I mean, we might have to change like the stove. Like everything else automatically
So
changes.
the stove and the microwave.
Oh yeah, the microwave.
The van.
The one in the van.
The
yeah.
one in the van.
In the dash.
In the dash.
But that's it.
And I think the Audi updates with our phone. I think
it doesn't, because I had to change it.
You did have to change it. So we'll have to change both cars.
And the stove and a
and
microwave.
the stove and microwave.
Everything
else is automatic. Yeah.
Except my computer. Oh wait, I have a different computer.
My computer changes.
Well, I had my computer locked and turned off all automatic stuff when we were traveling so that I could still work on Eastern time and not get confused.
That's right. She had her, yep. Because we would be in California for a couple months and she was still working on Eastern time zone.
Yeah.
So her computer had to make her think that she was on Eastern time zone.
Otherwise I
That's
was
right.
all messed up. Because you just have like regular meetings throughout the week and I couldn't think of that in a different time
Right.
and I would have missed it.
If your meeting was at 2
I mean, my
o'clock on
calendar
Thursday.
would update. Like, it would
Right.
totally do it for me. It was literally just like...
In your own head.
I
you
couldn't do
deal
it
with
myself.
Yeah, I get that.
Robinson's Custom says they'll give you vegan chicken. They all do it.
Really? I'm not famous enough. That's the problem. I don't know if I want to be as famous as it takes to be on Hot Ones. That's the real thing.
Do you have to be hot to be on Hot Ones?
I mean, Dave Grohl was on it.
So no. Hey, I like Dave Grohl, but I don't think he's hot. Angel Raven 444. Gotta say, it's refreshing to see hosts. I never think of ourselves as hosts. That sounds important. Hosts who are candid, open, and truthful in a crazy type world we now live in. Bless you too. Good night.
Thanks. I don't know how else to do it.
I don't know how to not be
how else
honest.
to do
Patrick
it.
Trite says, I'm not broken, just born this way.
I get that.
Charles Wallace says, my oldest grandson is autistic, so I can relate. My first stepfather was also in a wheelchair in the 80s. I bet that was challenging.
Yeah, because the world wasn't built for it
Yeah.
then, especially.
Even though all this stuff was before that, but I still think it took a long time
Yeah.
for accommodations to be good.
Yeah.
And they're still not good.
Yeah.
I see things all the time now. Remember when we went to the beach? And I was like, oh, cool, they have a ramp. And it was like this deep in sand. Like you couldn't even hardly walk on it, much less you could have never got a wheelchair down it.
Yep.
Patrick Hardy says, Dylan Talks Tone, man, your pickups are in magazines. Stop playing, you the man.
They're in magazines?
I mean, they are in magazines. I don't know if they're in a new magazine.
Well, I want to know if he saw them in a new magazine. I want to know because I don't know. I know Big KO from Run DMC talked about him. A pickup that's
and
not
you
even.
have been in magazines
I have
before.
been in Guitar World and I have been in Premier Guitar, but
Yeah.
not lately. So I'm curious to know if that's something new. Because nobody tells you anything. You just find out about it.
That is weird.
It is weird, yeah.
All right, what else y'all got? What else you got? Did this spark any kind of conversation for you? Like, oh, we've never talked about this.
No, I
'Cause
don't.
I've never talked about my job. That was kind of weird.
No, I think your job's really neat, even though I don't really understand it.
I feel like that's the third time you've told me that today.
I know. Well, I mean, the idea of it is really cool. To make sure that people on the internet of any ability or lack thereof can use the internet, which is really cool.
Jim Woodard says, I'm autistic, for real. It's hard just to be in normal social situations on top of being patient with other autistic people. I have an autistic child as well.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never thought about, I get the like normal social situations. I mean, I don't even like social situations, so I can't imagine like a neurodivergent thing. But I never thought about the interaction between
Two
multiple
people of the same.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
about
it's just like you know, the whole mirroring effect. Like you do this thing and it gets on my nerves because I do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wonder if that's a similar. That sounds really negative. I don't mean it negatively, but I just never thought about that. Alan Pettibone says, I missed it. What Audi did you get?
I got an SQ5. 2022 SQ5.
Thanks for sharing, y'all. I feel like there's a few little vulnerable moments here tonight.
Yeah. No, and this stuff is, it's funny because, again, this is the stuff you don't talk about in guitar videos. Like, you just don't get to, we don't get to know everybody the same way. That's why I like doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. What time is it?
You calling it? 9:31.
I mean, yeah, and unless anybody has a last minute question popping in there, that'd be cool. I really appreciate everybody coming to listen and hanging out. How many people we got here? 70?
Well, we lost some tonight. Jim Woodard says, I've dealt with it my whole life. My son is still learning, and I try hard to share my own path with him. Not easy because sometimes I'm not my best either. I mean, that's parenthood in general.
Yeah, for sure.
On top of having other challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the hardest thing, it's funny because for me personally, the hardest thing, there's two things. One is, well, no, it's actually one thing. It's literally managing expectations. That's the hardest thing because I think I can do stuff and then I can't do it. Or then I do stuff and then I can't do anything for the next 3 days, you know.
Oh, Patrick Hardy was referring to the Premier Guitar, November 2015.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that
Number
was number one. But yeah, managing expectations is hard for myself because I want to do everything all the time. And sometimes I just don't have the gas to do it. I just can't do it. And it makes it difficult. And then managing other people's expectations of me because they don't know. And still, until you get into this whole story of, well, I got hurt and was injured and blah, 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 and like tell this whole story, but you don't tell that to everybody all the time.
And you
every
shouldn't
time.
have to.
And you shouldn't have to.
Period.
Either. Yeah, if I just say, I'm sorry, I can't help you cut your grass. You know, and then there's...
That's a very nice reply. Because my reply would be no.
I mean, right. But then people look at you weird like, why not? You seem fine. Well, I'm not. You know.
And it's not your business.
And it's not your business. But even though it isn't anybody's business, I think it's good to share because being real is being real. Like, I am.
Jason Albert said, being a locksmith, you have to be aware of the hardware being ADA compliant. It bugs me when I see improperly installed hardware. And that is fascinating to me because I don't know what that means.
Yeah, ADA...
I did not know there was like ADA compliance to locks. Handles, things like that I get, and maybe that's what you're talking about.
Like the drunk people handles instead of a regular doorknob? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I always thought it was for drunk people, but it's actually not. It's actually an ADA thing.
It's for your cat to get in the door.
That's what it is. For your smart pets to get into the room.
So Jason, I don't know anything about that.
That lock thing is interesting, yeah.
Charles Wallace wants to know, what knife are you fidgeting with?
Oh, actually, this is my newest one. This is...
I still feel like it should glow in the dark.
I know, I wish it did. This is a Microtech Signature Series UTX 70 with clear jade scales on it, so you can actually see through it. And It's a Tonto blade, which is something that I've never had a Tonto. And this is the smallest one they make. So the reason Leslie looks like she's crying is because if you let the camera see your eyeballs, it will always focus on your eyeballs. So you have to cover your eyeballs if you're trying to show something else.
Yeah, that's why it's blurry.
Yeah.
Charles Wallace says, "You are an inspiration to me because I have followed you for a while. Thank you."
Thanks, Charles.
That's a
He is always here.
high compliment.
I guess, yeah.
Inspiration.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Awesome. Well, thanks, everybody. There's a video coming out tomorrow. I think I'm going to put out the one that I shot today so that I can work on the one tomorrow and put it out Monday. So
None of that means anything to
tomorrow
any of
you're
us.
going to see I changed string gauges on a guitar, so you're going to see that tomorrow. I'm redoing the Patreon name thing. I'm making it look like Star Wars.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah. And the other reason I did it is because it changes how it fits on the screen.
So you can have more on the screen
Well,
at a time?
so like if
or does it
if
look
the
more important?
no, like look at the screen right now where my hand is. So if it's like coming up this way,
Yeah.
or this way,
Yes.
then down here I can put the subscribe thing at the end of the video. The layout that I had, I couldn't do the subscribe or watch the next video or whatever. So I relayed it out so that it'll work better. So,
Jason Albert said he's going to contact me on Instagram and discuss it. That sounds awesome.
no, that's interesting to know. That's
Alan
really-
Pettibone said he's watched your channel for a while and had no idea, so he could see how it would be an issue. Jim Woodard said, "You'd be surprised where ADA, ISO, etc. compliance lives. I've been in government, telecom, and IT for health systems. I'm constantly learning new requirements." Same.
Same. That's what she does. Yep.
Not ADA so much because we don't have a physical location. But ISO compliance we do. I'm not on the compliance team, but start talking
What is your actual...
WCAG.
Yeah, that.
What?
Whatever all that other letters that you have after
No,
your
that
name.
WCAG is the criteria. I have CPAC certification, CPACC.
Now. Oh.
Cool.
All I know is it's so that disabled people can use the internet. Like use the website and use the products and use the stuff. Right? Basically. Cool. Well, I guess we will see you tomorrow because I have a video coming out tomorrow. And I have one coming out Monday. And I'm shooting more stuff. So you're going to see more content. And it's going to be a little different the way we're laying it out. So I think you'll dig it.
Okay, one more thing. Jim Woodard said McKesson or Epic. I've worked on McKesson and I worked in IDX. Not Epic. I got out of healthcare before Epic was popular. My dad works on Epic, though.
He does. I just know the word. There you go. Thanks, y'all. We'll see you tomorrow.